So I've always liked when other YouTubers, do a quick bookshelf tour. My bookshelf kind of grew based on the inspiration of seeing other people's. I think what I have at no other bookshelf. Welcome back to the Muscle Code YouTube channel. I'm wearing the same outfit as my last video because I'm banging out two a pop right now, so we're gonna get ahead in the game. I just moved from this seat right to here for this second video. So today we have number one book in the top 5 list of books that I liked that most people didn't. And to jump right into it, and the last one I had 2 books as a tie for number 1. This time I only have number 1, but the lack of having 2 is adds to the commentary, as you'll see. So in my number 1 top 5 books that I like that most people didn't is Feast for Crows. Now obviously a lot of people love every single book in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, but I particularly like this one. I could have easily went with Feast of Crows and A Dance with Dragons and did the tie to mirror the Stephen King in my last video, but I just couldn't do it because I just felt this one just stands apart even from A Dance with Dragons in my mind. And I think it would work fine because I can do all my videos on A Song of Ice and Fire only. So having one book in a video is really not a problem. So I just thought with this book, there was no Jon, there's no Daenerys, no Tyrion. And I just thought it was a bold move. And the story that he kind of overlapped into the entire Song of Ice and Fire stories, the Ironborn and the maneuverings of Dorne are basically my 2 favorite. Those two, the Ironborn and the maneuverings of Dorne, bring A Song of Ice and Fire to the next level in my fandom and to the overall story. I think they're the 2 coolest storylines. The Kingsmoot in this book is probably my favorite chapter of the Ironborn. It's probably my favorite chapter, as is a lot of others. And just the whole underlying plot that Dorne has for revenge, I think gives the whole A Song of Ice and Fire like a deep dynamic that just catapults it to my favorite fantasy series. And this one in particular, on the reread level, I think it really shines. On the first time through, your expectations are a little discombobulated. Like as I mentioned, the main characters aren't in it. And it does get a little name heavy with some of the families and some of the meetings with Cersei, with the council. It does get a little bogged down with names. But I think it's just so quaint, and it's a little bit shorter than the other ones, and I think it works in its favor in some ways. I think Dance of Dragons definitely went too long. 100% went too long. I think this one's a perfect size. Might be added to why I like rereading it so much. But I've read the whole series 4 times, and every time I get to Feast of Crows, it's always like one of my favorite. I know I'm in for a nice little quick ride. And overall, I even like the cover. I even like the cover, the sun cover. I have a sun tattoo right here. So I even like the cover, and I like even down in the Citadel with Sam when he visits the Citadel, I thought was like perfectly done. And if you know what's going on, Jaqen H'ghar is, book ends the book with the prologue and the last chapter. So this book is, and most people feel like the book 4 and book 5 are on the weaker side, and I can see what they're saying, but that's why this is solidified as my number 1 top 5 books that I like that most people didn't. So we're gonna go into that. Ends kind of the first season of In the Library, and then in a few months we'll get into some other top 5 fantasy series, top 5 self-help, specifically self-help. Most people are, I wrote a book called The Muscle Code, which is a self-help book, and people are probably thinking like, oh, this guy only reads fantasy stories about pirates and Star Wars, so what's he gonna? No, self-help. I have like basically I can fill a whole shelf. So I'll have my top 5 self-help books. We'll do top 5 fantasy series, and then maybe a quick one on why I decided to self-publish. I think that would be a good one for aspiring authors, or just to give a current analysis of the current publishing world and book industry. So thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you back in the next season. Thanks. So I've always liked when other YouTubers, do a quick bookshelf tour. My bookshelf kind of grew based on the inspiration of seeing other people's. I think what I have at no other bookshelf